So, it's been a while, hasn't it, Ollie? You've been waiting to do your job and I just haven't got my act together. There's lots of interesting things up there, isn't there? It's going to be a bit messy today, I have to say. So I think you're not going to be able to stay there. It's either going to frighten you, what I'm about to do, or you're going to get too inquisitive and get covered in ink. And either way, I don't really think that's a good idea, do you? So say hello to everybody and then say goodbye to everybody. Yes, it's a very old tin. I'll let you see what I'm going to do. Look, it involves these. Yeah, I thought it might frighten you. You winced. Right, come on, baby. Come on. People are expecting a kind of a craft video. Can you go up there? Can you go up here? Good boy. We're going to talk about that later. You look after it for me, though. So, hello everybody, it's Anna Rosie Duck Designs here. Thanks ever so much for joining me today. Yes, we're back. It's been a while. I have to say the motivation issue is still a challenge for me, but also my time has suddenly become more creative in the kitchen than in the craft room, which seriously isn't me, but I'm starting to think I need to do a food blog rather than a craft blog. But you've appreciated my efforts, haven't you?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Great.
I didn't realise how much I relied on the local fish and chip shop and the takeaways after a long day, but that's kind of not an option now. So I hope this video finds you all safe and well. Challenging times, but together we can get through them, she said with great hope. So I did talk about doing a fancy card using a fancy die last time, and I know that was a while ago, but I actually thought obviously since then the children are at home, or most of the children are at home, so you may have your children at home or grandchildren that you're looking after while their parents still have to go to work. So I just thought I'd do something that was a little bit messy, a little bit fun, and something that children who enjoy crafting might enjoy. First off, my suggestion, don't wear your decent clothes, hence the old but comfortable top I'm wearing this morning, and don't do this on your best tablecloth, on your best worktop in your kitchen if it stains with ink. So I'm thinking with the lovely weather that we have here at the moment, this is probably something you could try out in the garden. Sounds like a plan. So what you need for it, we're actually going to do some marbling. So what we're hoping to end up with is some just random bits of card with a random pattern on, that we can then use to put together a fairly simple basic card, because it's certainly one way that we can still keep in touch with each other, isn't it? Whether it's a card through the post or just perhaps a card through someone's door that's been kind to you or that you're missing, whatever. So that's what we're going to do. Now for this you're going to need like an old baking tray, or preferably something that's slightly deeper than this, I have to say, because you'll see what I mean in a minute, but it involves marbles and they escaped and they went all over me and all over the floor the other day, so I'm warning you that anything could happen, and it probably will. So something a little bit deeper than this, something that's old, something you don't mind getting some ink on it, perhaps even one of those garden things that you have the trays to put your plants in. So anything like that. Oh, what?
How about an apron?
You could have an apron, yes, yes, you could. I've got a very nice Stampin' Up apron, but I kind of didn't want to get ink down it. But yes, an apron would be good. One of those plastic ones. But yeah. But you've also got to watch the floor as well. But I did clear up after me the other day. So we need some marbles. Now these are not marbles, but your children, grandchildren may well have marbles. So I have got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I've got 12 of these, and these are these little round balls that you get to put on the top of your plants to make your plant pots look a bit more attractive. But they're basically the size of a marble. So anything that's round that moves around will be fine. Now to that we need to add some ink. So these are Stampin ink refills. Now I've kind of shot myself in the foot with this one because I tend to, because I've got the old style ink pads, when one of my ink pads runs out I'm tending to replace it with a new ink pad, so I've got all the same style ink pads ultimately. So I've got to be honest and say that I haven't bought a lot of re-inkers, so my colour choice is somewhat limited, but feel free to use whatever colours that you fancy. I'm using Melon Mambo, Highland Heather and Coastal Cabana, and that is what I've used to produce that piece of card. And then on this piece of card I've used Melon Mambo, there it is, Mango Melody and Coastal Cabana, and the yellow of the Mango Melody has kind of picked up the green, picked up the blue of the Coastal Cabana and come up with green. One other little tip is that it works better on light cards, so this is very vanilla and this is Whisper White. This is a piece of Flirty Flamingo, and I've got to say I'm not particularly impressed with that, but I've kept it here to show you because I've also added to the mix some Wink of Stella, you know, because it has to be done. And I think, I don't know whether that's showing up. Is that showing up? No. But you can see the shimmer in that from here. I'll leave it to the cameraman. I'll leave it to the expert. No. No. Okay. It's there. Trust me. So what we're going to do, we've got our tray here, and we're literally just going to add. Oh, you're paying attention. I'm not sure this is good. Please don't jump on top of it because it's not going to go with your fur. And I don't want to have to go to the vet today and explain how I managed to get pink ink all over my ginger cat. So I'm just adding some drops of Melon Mambo on there. I'm adding some Coastal Cabana down here. There's no rhyme or reason why I'm doing it this way at all. Stick some of that up there. Go however the mood takes you. There's my Highland Heather. Now to add some Wink of Stella, you can just take your Wink of Stella pen, and if you squeeze it on the barrel, this is getting a bit empty this one, but can you see it's coming down? Yeah, and I'm just dripping some of that where I've dripped the ink. So as I do the next stage, that will pick up the Wink of Stella with it. Now I've just got some odd bits of card here. These are cut at my standard, she said, 3 3/4 by 5 3/4, so that would be the 9.5 centimetres by 14.5 centimetres if metric is your thing. And all I'm going to do with that is find an area that hasn't got too much ink on it. I'm going to lay my bit of card down, and this is where the fun starts. And I'm just gently going to roll these marbles or these balls around. And as they're rolling through the tray, they're picking up the colour.
That's clever.
You like that, do you?
Ollie's very interested.
Yeah, it's like a new game, isn't it? And just carefully pick your bit of card out, and then we need to put that somewhere where it's going to dry, preferably where we don't get a pussycat going anywhere near it. I'm taking this big bit of card now. I should have also said have some wet wipes handy. Always a plan. It is, Ollie, it's always a plan. Look. I should have photographed the way my hands looked by the end of my session on Tuesday. It was a good job I didn't have to go anywhere. It's a good job we're all in lockdown and I didn't have to go out. So I'm just going to lay, no, I'm not actually, I'm going to do another bit of the smaller paper because I just want to pick some of this excess ink up. So let's just do another one, and we've got some Coastal Cabana down here. You can see how if you've got a deeper tray, how you're less likely to lose the marbles out of it. You can get a bit too enthusiastic and it can all go slightly wrong. I have to say, Jim, you're actually in the firing line if I do it too far that way. So you can just guide if you've got an area that you want a bit more colour. So I could do with a little bit over there. So then we're just going to pick that out. Now I'm looking at that and I'm thinking the red or the Melon Mambo is very predominant in that. So I could just take some of that out if I wanted to. I should have actually brought in something to put these in. I think that you've got to have full marks for your attention for this one, Oliver, I have to say. So I'm just going to dab some of that red because it's a little bit, not seeing much of the other colours. It's a little bit heavy handed with that. Okay, so we're going to stick that in that tin, and then I'm going to splodge a bit more of this colour on. This is Coastal Cabana. And maybe a bit more of the lavender, Highland heather. But you can just get creative, and you could just do two colours if you wanted to. However the mood takes you. So I'm just going to use up, you never know when you might need a smaller piece of paper, so you can always do a smaller piece. Okay, getting quite a bit of red in that. I'm going to run out of places to put this, I have to say. I'll dab a bit more red off. Was this a good idea for on camera? I don't know whether it was. It's got you entertained, hasn't it? I've never seen you so engaged with a crafting video. Right, so let's go with the big one. I'm just going to lay that down there. Almost. Almost. Not quite. We might have got away with that. So I would have to say I've actually probably overdone the red a little bit on this one. But you can see the gist of hopefully what we're trying to achieve. So let's just put that there. Say these are better examples, I think. So in between, what you could do is just mop it all up with a baby wipe, which is basically what I have to say I did on Tuesday, which is why I got myself in a mess. But I cleaned it all up and then sort of did another batch of it. But that's the idea of what we're finishing up with. Obviously on this one I had more lavender than I did the Coastal Cabana, which I think, I've got to be honest, I think that works better. So less, if you're using these colours, less Melon Mambo, more Coastal Cabana, more Highland Heather, I think. But that's just the idea of how we're doing the marbling. Now I'm going to just, if you want to just pause at a moment, I'm just going to put this somewhere safe. So since we've been away, you've got a new directing chair, haven't you? Or a new cameraman's chair. And you've also learnt that you can do something with the screen. So I apologise in advance because I've no idea what's going to happen on this video. But anyway, this is one that I did using the same technique a couple of days ago. So it's all nice and dry. And I'm actually just going to make this into a card to sort of just prove there is a point to all this. So I've cut that at 3.5 by 5.5 or 9 by 14 centimetres, and I've got a piece of basic black cardstock at 3 3/4 by 5 3/4, which is the 9.5 centimetres by 14.5 centimetres. Now I've gone with the basic black because it just kind of lifts the colours on that, just makes a nice background layer. So we'll stick that down first. Using my trusty snail. Now if I forget, I need to say something about snail at the end of this, so can you try and remember that for me?
I'm too slow.
I'm talking to you, not the cat, by the way. The cat's given up, the marbles have gone, so the cat's gone as well. I have my usual my usual 6 by 8 scored at 4 on the long side, and that would be 15 by 20 centimetres and scored at 10 centimetres on the long side. I'm impressed after however many weeks it's been, I remember to bring my metric version in. I'm picking up, I could have picked up any of the colours here, but I'm picking up the Melon Mambo, so I'm using that as my base card. I'm just going to attach these two bits of card to the front of my card. Now you could go either portrait or landscape, there is no specific way that the pattern goes. Because of what I'm going to put on the front, I'm going to go on a landscape basis. But as you're sticking this down, it really doesn't matter how you're perceiving the card at all. So I'm just centralising that in the middle there as best I can. Standard cat hair. Now there is, no there isn't actually, and I didn't put any Wink of Stella in this one in particular. So if you just want to put a bit of a highlight of some shimmer, there's no reason why you can't do that. Rude not to, I think. Just, it's not going to be in your face, it's just going to be a little highlight of that shimmer when it hits the daylight. And because I need a bit of glitter, I'm not going to bother to say, can you see this, because I don't think you can.
Yeah.
You can see it, can you?
Good.
Oh, good. And I've got a 3 3/4 piece of card by 5 3/4. I will remember this one day. So that's 9.5 by 14.5, and that's my inner layer that I'm going to write a message on. So I'm just going to add a little bit of detail to that, and I've gone with a butterfly, out of the Butterfly Gala stamp set. Now this is just a very small butterfly. A lot of those come, they're attached, but this is a separate little butterfly, so I'm just going with that. I've got my Melon Mambo ink. So I'm just going to go with my full colour. Put a butterfly in each corner. Just Wink of Stella that. And I'm not putting anything else in the middle, I'm just leaving it as a blank card so that I can write a little message in that. While I've got the ink out, and if I can find it, I might as well do the envelope. So I will do full inked version of the butterfly in the corners. Stamp that off and do a paler one in the middle. And on the back here, just do 2 full stamp and then a stamped off one in the middle. And as I've done on the inside, I'm not going to do it on camera because it just takes up more time, but I will actually Wink of Stella all these little butterflies just on the envelope. Melon Mambo on my hand, it's not a good look. It's getting there, it's not quite as good as Tuesday night. It's getting there. Let's have a bit of this as well. It's dangerous. I'm just showing off because I've got kitchen roll in the house. So I'm going to stick that in the middle of my card. So making sure we stick that the right way up. So that's just going in the centre. Ready for me to write a little note in. So something for the front. What I've done is I've cut using the layering ovals, kind of my favourite die set. So I've used that one, I think. That's the one that's about 2 inches across. Centimetres ish. Anyway, so I've got that one, and then I've stamped on a piece of Whisper White. That's Melon Mambo, if I didn't say. Whisper White, and I've stamped a little note using the Melon Mambo ink, and I've got that also from this Butterfly Gala stamp set. So I've already done that, and I've cut that out using not the smallest one. About the third one of the crinkle ones up. But again, you can use whatever size that you want. You can make the area where you put the sentiment bigger or even smaller. So I'm just going to stick this to that. I'm just going to stick that in the middle. Now normally I would stick that on the front using some stamping dimensionals, but I'm thinking this is going to go in the post, and what certainly we have to be aware of here in the UK is that it's not so much the weight now, is it, of the parcel, it's the depth of it. So you can get caught out by sticking a first class stamp on an envelope thinking that's fine, but if it doesn't go through the little slot which the post office classifies as somebody's letterbox, it has to go as a large letter. So I'm always slightly concerned when I stick too many embellishments on anything. So the fact that we bought some stamps before the lockdown, so that we could just send things and put them in the post, I'm erring on the side of caution, because I've got to be honest, I don't particularly want to be queuing up at the post office now, when I seriously don't have to. So as I say, normally I would raise it up and give it a bit of interest, but in this instance I'm going to just stick it back down. Now obviously we don't all have big shots, so if we don't have a big shot, what could we do? Well, we could take a circle punch. In this case I've taken the sunburst punch, and all I've done is I've punched out the circle, and that's the perfect size for, again, the same sentiment, Whisper White with Melon Mambo. But that on its own it's okay, but it looks like it needs something extra. So what I did was I got one of these little polarised doilies, which are polarised on one side. Are you getting?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're also non-polarised on that side, so you can add colour to that side, but you can also add colour to the polarised side, which is what I've done here. Now putting that on top of there, that suddenly gives it a whole different look, much more attractive. And I've done that simply by, grab my, whatever that is, work chopping board, cheap chopping board I got from somewhere. And all I've got here is a sponge brayer. Now they are £7.50, and you get 2 handles and 4 sponges. And the polarised doilies are £4.25. And as I say, they're great because you can turn them into any colour that you want. So I'm just going to apply some colour, and I'm using the board simply because if I don't, I could go straight onto my grid paper, but then I'm going to get ink everywhere, and then I won't be able to finish off that using that bit of the sheet, and I will get ink where I don't want it. This way I can hopefully contain it. And it's as simple as that. So that's the polarised side. Turn it over. You obviously don't have to do this, but I'm just showing you that you can add colour to both sides. And because this isn't polarised, you're actually getting a deeper colour with this one, the non-polarised side. I told you it was a messy one, didn't I? I'm quite glad the cat's gone. I don't know where he's gone. He's got fed up. So there we have a deeper shade of Melon Mambo, probably more true to the actual Melon Mambo colour. Got a very nice pastel pink colour over here. And because it's polarised, you won't be able to get that same depth of colour on the polarised version of it. So the choice is yours, pale pink or the darker pink. It's going to look pretty whichever way we go. Now that's still going to be slightly damp, so I don't want to put that over the card, but hopefully you see where I'm going with that. Stick that up there. Stick that up there as he's nowhere to be seen. Just keep an eye out for him. So I'm going to stick with this, having cut it all out. So I'm just going to attach that now to my base card, or my finished card basically, to finish it off. And I'm just going to go in the middle there. You could put it wherever you like, but it kind of works in the middle for me. So there we are. It's a very simple card where we've used the marbling technique to make the card that we're using as the background card. So having had a bit of fun with doing that, then obviously you can then use your 30 minutes. I haven't lost my ability to talk, have I? Yes, so where was I? Yes, so having gone to and had a bit of fun making the marbling card, it's then can be transferred into a card that can be given to somebody. So that is that, I think. Oh no, there was one thing. With this one, I did a bigger piece of paper, a bigger piece of card, and although, as I say, not too happy with the colour there, I think I had far too much Melon Mambo. That needed to be a more of a base background colour. But the point of doing a big bit of this card was so that I could then use it to make something, sort of step it up a little bit. And I did a bigger piece of very similar to this, and I've used it to make that card. So I basically cut it into strips, inspired by an amazing card by Bruno Bertucci. It's nowhere near as good as Bruno's, I have to say, but it's based on his idea. So if you check out Kylie Bertucci's website, not website, YouTube, you will find it on there. Absolutely amazing. But that's my poor version of it. But I've used my my homemade marbled card to get the effect on there. So we may well revisit that, but I'll have to make myself a different marbled background card that I'm a little bit more happier with. But that's something for another day. I think I've waffled enough. But I need to get this in the post as well. So I thought I would at least share that with you today. Snail, yes. So last night was very exciting for us demonstrators because we got to see the first glimpse of the new catalogue. You won't be disappointed, it's very exciting. Can't say very much about it at the moment other than Snail, my favourite adhesive, is actually retiring. Being replaced by something very similar, which I'm sure is going to be absolutely fabulous anyway. However, I'm thinking I want to hang on to my Snail as long as possible. So it is available to order currently, and I have done that myself this morning. I've got a nice supply winging its way to me, so I'm not going to be running out anytime soon. So again, if it's something, it's your favourite form of adhesive, then yeah, go and treat yourself to some before it goes. So on my blog, which I'll put a link to, there is 2 sections on the sidebar of last chance products, and basically there are PDF lists of every product that is retiring in the annual catalogue, the beginner's brochure, and then there's a separate on the sidebar is a separate picture, same picture, but there is instructions as to the fact that that relates to the mini catalogue. Just click on there, you can see what is staying, what is retiring, but also interestingly there are already some fabulous discounts on there, so go and check that out for a bargain. Highlighting just a couple of them is the heart doilies. They, I think, was something like £6, but basically they are, I haven't written down how many you've got or how. So that's your new director's chair, isn't it, Ollie? It's obviously nap time. No staying power, have they? Some people. They've got no staying power whatsoever. So I am back. As usual, the video froze and I had trouble downloading it, so that has given me the opportunity to just check this out. So, slight exaggeration, the heart doilies were £5, but they are now £2, and you get 40 doilies, 20 of each colour, floaty flamingo and real red. So these are brilliant for cards, especially perhaps at times like this where we're trying to say thank you to somebody, wanting to send a message of love to a loved one, so that we're not seeing, that we're isolated from. So great investment. And although my culinary skills never I've been honing them, but they haven't gone as far as trying out these tin boxes, these tin foil cases. So I never did make the chocolate cakes, and they are about to retire. But they were £8.25 for 10, and they are now £5.36. So again, a really good bargain.
Are they reusable?
Not if you're cooking them, no. No, I think they're a one-off use. They're great for favours or dinner parties or whatever. But what I was thinking, you could put some little treats in there, and you've got the plastic lids, and the doilies fit into the lid, and they fit into the bottom as well. So you could just put some little sort of sweets or treats in there. Oh, sorry. Sorry. So you've got a lip in there, so the doily will fit in there. You can then tie a nice pretty bow around there. If you're not me, you can tie a pretty bow around there. So I'm thinking, you know, has your neighbour done you a kindness or something like that? Could you put some little sweets or something, just as a little gift, just to say thank you to somebody?
Give them to the dustman.
We could give them to the dustman even, yeah, because they're doing a brilliant job, aren't they? Anybody that's keeping going, the postman, yes. We just need to buy some sweets or something, and then I will do that up. But yeah, I mean, pharmacists, the shopkeepers, the grocery stores, everybody that's having to work is doing a fabulous job. And of course the NHS, if you've got friends that perhaps work in the NHS, why not make up a little treat for them? Here in the UK on a Thursday we do a clap at 8 o'clock to say thank you for the fabulous, amazing job that the NHS are doing. And a symbol of that has now become rainbows, and there's been some lovely rainbows made with hearts cut out using the 2 heart punches. So there's a crinkled one and there's a plain one. Now we only actually have this window that's not frosted that overlooks the street, so you can imagine if I stuck a rainbow in that window that it would last all of about 5 seconds. So there is no point in me trying to do that, but what I did do, and I'm digressing somewhat here, was I just cut out some just some different coloured hearts using some oddments of my card. I just stuck them on that ribbon, and I will attempt to hang that in our window tonight as we go out and clap. But yeah, Marley's already eyeing it up and down. But if you've got the window and you haven't got inquisitive animals, they will stick quite happily to the glass. With some glue dots will work, and you can obviously do a whole row of the different colours, the different cardstocks. I think the brights work particularly well with them, and possibly even the subtles. I know it's not exactly rainbow colours, but I just wanted to show you what they look like cut out and a variety of colours. And then what I've done at the end here, just using a thank you stamp from a big thank you stamp set, I've just heat embossed that onto one of these doilies. So you could make a whole row of those or anything you like. So it's just a little idea. You could add little sentiments using the big thank you stamp set. There's some great ones on here. There's grateful every day for you, heartfelt gratitude, thanks, thank you so much, you are the best, ever so grateful, and so on. You could stamp all of those messages on the various hearts. And as I say, you could have a whole row of all the different colours. So just again a little fun thing.
Marley wants to join
Marley
in.
wants to join in, yeah. Fun thing that perhaps you could get children, grandchildren to do. As I say, it's not a rainbow, but it's just to give you an idea. Do you like that? Is that pretty? I'm hoping that we can just hang it up for 5 minutes to see if it... So, is that all I've got to say? Yes, I am going to do a blog post later on today just to pick out a few of the things that have caught my eye on the retiring list that actually have a bargain price attached to them. I noticed last night when I had a quick look through that there are some kits as well. So I'm just going to pick out my favourites. What I would say is that all the things on the retiring list are on a while supplies last basis, and therefore if there's something you've been wanting and it's on there, then do get your order in sooner rather than later. And in particular the in colours, anything with the 2018-2020 colours, they do tend to disappear quite quickly. So if you're looking for cardstock, or that's not, I just realised there's ink up there, isn't there? Worried about the ginger one. I've got to worry about you. Pink would go with you, although you're a boy. That would work well with your fur, wouldn't it? I think thankfully it's dry. So where was I?
Saying goodbye.
Saying goodbye, yes. No, I was saying about the ink colours, so they do go quite quickly. So if you're looking for cardstock ink or ink refills, whatever, then do go on and have a look sooner rather than later. So again, the link to my shop will be on the front, but you can also get there via my blog. And if I didn't mention before, the shop has had a facelift thanks to Stampin' Up. So you will, if you've not been on there for a while, you will notice a little bit of a difference. It's a better shopping experience. So yeah, go and check that out, even if you don't want to buy anything. It's worth having a look. So I think that is it. So we've got to say now goodbye. I don't know what role you are. Assistant director, possibly. That's Marley, everybody. Looking very regal up there. So goodbye from Marley. Goodbye from Sleepy Ollie. I would say goodbye on his behalf. From Jim and myself, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you again very soon. Until then, do stay safe and stay well, and take good care of yourselves. Bye for now.